Beautiful.
This
Afsaneh.
meeting is being recorded.
And still you're unstoppable.
You are. I don't. Great. Welcome, everybody. Okay. We are so grateful to have you join us today on such an amazing day. We're going to have an incredible story. Joan is here to lead the call with Dr. Clint, and it's so good to see everybody. It's so good to see Beverly and Ariana and Heather and Luke and May Chen is here. It's so good to see all of you. Joan, would you like to share with us what the quote you chose for the call is today?
Yes, I decided that I would choose in the book, page 29. Every adversity, every difficult situation or heartbreak has within it the seeds of equal or greater benefit. That one I really resonate with because I always try to see the positive in everything. Even when things go wrong, I always try to see the positive in it. And I know it's the upbringing of my mom used to always, every time things would go wrong on the farm, which they do all the time, she would never get mad. She would just be like, okay, well, let's fix it. Let's try to find a way. And if there wasn't a way, we would make up a way. And I love doing MacGyver-isms, anything to do with figuring it out, inventing things, just getting the job done. So that quote really resonated with me because I think that we as humans on this earth, we have our soul, which is like our teacher, our guide, our parent, our...
They already started now.
I don't think so. We're still in the, how long till the call starts?
Now. You're not muted. So I think our soul is our guide, and it's there to teach us. And like a good teacher, they always put something in front of you that you might not be ready for, but it's to push you. Like your math teacher, you know, you've mastered 2 + 2 and you've mastered 5 × 5, and now they're putting, you know, an equation in front of you that's hard, and you're going to learn. But if you sit there and cry about it and whine and say, oh, it's too hard, and they'll be like, no, keep going, and they're just going to keep pushing you. So a lot of times we have people that tell us, like, you know, personal trainer, I'm going to put an extra 20 pounds on you because you wanted to get strong, and this is the way to get strong. But a lot of times we don't know our soul's talking to us, and our soul's being very patient and confident that we're going to get the message and continue to push forward. But if we give up and cry about it, then our soul's just sitting there like a parent. It's like, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be loving, and I'm just going to wait for you to get up and realize that you can do this. And like a little kid who's fallen in the playground and he's crying, or they hurt their knee, you know, instead of rushing over and soothing it, there's the parent sitting on the park bench just waiting and watching. That's our soul, waiting and watching and seeing what we're going to do about it.
It's so great. So Joan, we
brush ourselves off and we go for it. And that's what our soul wants.
We have so many people in this community that have experienced adversity, and we've just recently had one of our dear community members go through something that brought the ancient secrets alive. Dr. Clint, would you like to introduce our special guest today?
Yeah. Hello. I should say Guten Tag. I'm in near Frankfurt, Germany right now on a layover. On the way to Nepal. I have one more layover in India, but I'm just looking at everyone's faces as Joan's sharing this awesome wisdom. And wow, so good to see you, Phil, and Manuela, Maychen, Luke, Randy. So awesome to see you, Ron, Chris, Christine, Larry, Carol. Oh my goodness, so awesome. And I could name everyone: Anya, Deborah Ann, Tara, and Romarishi. I just want to see a raise of hands. Who was on Thursday's call for the emergency course? So you saw this amazing woman share some part of what had happened, and there was not nearly enough time to do it justice on that call. And so I asked her, I was like, is there any way that you can come and share your story with the Ancient Secrets community more widely? I just want to see real quick, is anyone new on the call? I just want to see real quick if anyone is new on the call right now. And if you are, you can actually just put in the chat, I am. Yeah, just stick it in the chat because we want to welcome you. Also, if you're new, I know that on Thursday, actually for the emergency course, I think Cornelia, how many people are registered total for it now? Do you know it?
As of this morning, 1,080.
1,080 people already registered, which is awesome. And so this story and the timeliness of it and the synchronicities around Afsaneh sharing it at that perfect time, it cannot be an accident, you know? And so whether you're new to the world of ancient secrets or you've been around for a while, this is just such a remarkable case that just from being in the proximity of hearing it, even my friend Charles Eisenstein, he said, wow, that story is healing in itself. The miracle story is medicine. Because what happens when you hear it is you have to, for most of us, we have to it's new data, you know, and we have to rethink what's possible. I don't know. I know there's lots of beautiful medical care practitioners, doctors, nurses, or other practitioners on the call, and I'd love to have your feedback on some of the parts because even being in the world of Dr. Naram and Ancient Secrets, where we get used to seeing amazing things, this is truly remarkable. The path that Afsaneh's soul has taken. Just real quick, did anyone say they were new today? I just want to welcome you, Betty. Oh, fantastic. Betty, can you just unmute yourself? I just want to know where you're joining from. I don't know if you know how to unmute yourself, or maybe someone can help.
Yes, I'm in Boulder, Colorado.
Colorado, excellent. And how did you hear about this call?
My friend Peggy Taylor sent a link.
Beautiful. Your friend sent a link. Did I hear you correctly?
Yes.
Peggy Taylor from Wild Horses.
Oh, Peggy Taylor. Oh, that's awesome. Betty, I'm so glad you're on this call. So these calls, they're actually, it's so fun. I normally have the English book, but did she tell you about the book Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer already?
I've read it.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm holding it now in Farsi. This is the Farsi version that actually the star of today's call. Oh, Joan, you got yours in English as well. Good. I'm so glad. And what was your experience when you read it, Betty?
Oh, I immediately had to join, and I started writing notes on all the Marma points and started using them. And I think it's a transforming book.
Oh, that's so awesome. And Robin, are you at in India right now?
Yes, I am in Ayat Shakti's clinic, and we actually have 4 new people here that I have wonderful people have been doing Panchakarma here. And so we've got Alex, we've got Anna Zubin, and Swami Kenneth.
Wow, welcome.
Yeah, it's a little loud here because we're in the restaurant, but it's fun to have, you know, it's like you make friends all over the world when you're
Yeah. Well, what an amazing first call to come to. this is really something else. So I don't know, Afsaneh, if you're in a position that you can unmute yourself. I even just the preparation to be on today's call, Afsaneh, her soul, her spirit is off the charts. Before the book was ever published is when we first met online, and we didn't meet in person for a while. I shared a lot of that on Thursday's call, and we can share some of that. We have a link that if anyone wasn't on Thursday's call, actually, Cornelia, can you drop the landing page with that video where it just shares her, some of the backstory where I shared all the pictures and everything? If you could just put that in the link. So if anyone didn't hear the backstory of just me sharing it, that actually we didn't tell most people that Afsaneh was going to be on the call. Just surprise everyone. But today we told. And I wasn't even sure if she was going to be on the call. I wasn't even sure I was going to be on the call. But I'm going to be quiet now. And I want to just say, Afsaneh, actually, if you could just speak some words just about what is it like to finally be on another Sunday call after the months of journey that you just went through.
Namaste, everyone. My gratitude to Dr. Clint, Dr. Naram, Baba Ramdas, Dr. Smita Naram, Dr. Krishna, Dr. Hemong, and all the Ayushakti doctors, Poonam, and all my family in Ancient Secrets that I do my 3-year path course with. I just want to say thank you, Dr. Clint, from the bottom of my heart. You see, your book is carried with me everywhere. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know why it's kind of blurred. I think it's the setting on this laptop.
Yeah, if you hold
that
it
is not
closer to
mine.
yourself, then it's easy to see. But we know what book it is. Anyway.
Yes, it's my Ancient Secrets book by Dr. Clint G. Rogers. As Dr. Clint said, my sister calls him Dr. Rogers, and now I'm getting used to calling him Dr. Rogers. Basically, what happened was a journey that I think must have began a long time ago. It began when I first joined Dr. Clint's first Zoom call. And I can't remember after how many weeks, but one day he said, "This is going to be the last call." I don't know if Dr. Clint can remember that, but I wrote him an email and I was crying my eyes out on the Zoom call. Please, how can this be the last call? And
Yeah, my
now,
intention originally was just, I was going to do it for 4 weeks, and then that was it. And then we did another 8 weeks, and then that was going to be it. And then really was because of Afsaneh in a big way, and a lot of other people and Jaina and others are like, no, we got to keep going. And yeah, so keep going, Afsaneh. Amazing.
and I remember I got the book and I wrote saying, "Can I help? I want to translate this book." And now looking back at what happened in the last 2 months and what I went through, I think it was all planned. Dr. Rain Dyer has a book called I Can See Clearly Now. And I remember reading that book a long time ago. And now I can say I can see clearly now as well. Had I not have joined the Zoom call from the beginning, had I not have translated the book, had I not done the 100-day training, had I not been in the path course, and had I not shared what I learned with my family and my friends and colleagues at work, I wouldn't be sitting here today. You would have been talking about this woman that died 2 months ago. Ancient Secrets saved my life. Dr. Clint saved my life. He created a group with all the Shakti doctors. It was like a revolution. I was in coma, but my sister had also done some proofreading. And she's a medical doctor. She's a neurosurgeon. And just as a background, my father was very much into herbal medicine himself. And so we grew up in a house full of herbs and spices. And so we had the background readiness to practice, to experiment herbs and stuff. When I went to coma, for some weird reason.
Is it okay if I give a little bit of back?
Yes.
Just for people who are just new for the first time. So when Afsaneh had translated the book into Farsi, I don't think you had been to Iran since then. And so she had actually scheduled to have a house party at her mom's house where a bunch of people were invited and she was going to talk about the book.
Actually, 74 people.
74 people were going to come. I didn't know that detail. 74 people. And on the same day when these 74 people were supposed to be at her mom's house, instead, she was in a coma in the hospital, unconscious. And I don't know how long you'd been in a coma by then. I think maybe 7-8 days. It could have been longer. And her sister, who's a doctor, contacted me through Afsaneh's phone. So she got a hold of Afsaneh's phone and was communicating with some of us. And just talked about the really dire situation. I think 14 different doctors said that she was not going to see the light of day. They told her sister, who's a doctor, and her mother, 14 different doctors. And so the same day in which she was supposed to be giving this message of healing, there she is laying with all of the authorities saying for sure she is going to die.
They actually it was the 4th day of me being in coma.
The 4th day of being in coma, yeah.
They said to my mom and my sister, you better say your goodbyes because she's not gonna be here in the morning. And if you need to call anybody else to come and say goodbye, call them now. And so my sister contacted Dr. Clint, my wonderful Dr. Clint, and she explained she had already put onion and 1 onion cut into 4 pieces and milk, as it is in the ancient secrets about Rabat.
Yeah, now
And I
this,
remember the first time, that when I said this to my sister, she said, don't be ridiculous. That is what her response was 4 years, 5 years ago, whenever, I don't know.
this part was amazing because Afsaneh not only translated the book, but she shared it with so much passion that her whole family knew what to do. They actually knew about the onion and the milk. And her sister, who's a doctor, I love that, 4 years earlier says, don't be ridiculous. But who knows what life path takes us. And 4 years later, she had no idea that her own sister would be laying there. And that the knowledge that at first she was like casting away was her only hope. You know, none of her training had prepared her for this in medical school. None of the teachers or other, in fact, one of her colleagues was there too. And when I had connected with Farzana, Dr. Farzana, it was amazing because I was like trying to share with her what to do. And I was pretty sure she didn't have any herbs there, but Afsaneh had brought them all the ones she needed.
I had a full suitcase full of herbs for them.
Yeah, and her sister said, you don't understand. She's been talking nonstop about this for 4 years. We all know a lot more than you may think. And so really, I didn't have to give a lot of explanation. I just recorded a video demonstrating what's shared in the first chapter, how to help someone come out of a coma. It actually says in the first chapter, step by step, what to do. So I just recorded that and I sent it. And then, I don't know, Afsaneh, do you want to share more about what happened in that space?
I wasn't, my kidney function, liver function, lung function, all the major organs was failing badly. And I was really in a bad way. And my mom learned the marmas by watching the videos. And my sister was saying she was doing them non-stop. Mm-hmm. So much so that she felt numb in her thumb as she was pressing the marma, and my mom's hand shakes. So she's 86, 87. And she'd just been sitting there, and because my heart rate was so low, my oxygen levels were low, and my heart rate was really, really low. I was leaving my body basically. And Dr. Clint had spoken, and he sent me to my mobile Dr. Naram's voice and meditation. And every time she played Dr. Clint's voice, this is what my sister said, my heart rate increased. And she kept doing it, and she kept checking, and it was happening. So she then asked my cousins to check. Then she asked the doctors to check. Yeah. She was so excited. She kept calling them, look at this. And she put on the voice, and my heart rate started going up. And
she said she thought she was going crazy. She's like, maybe, because literally they hadn't slept for maybe a week. And so she kept thinking, maybe I'm hallucinating. Can someone else check this? And checking it. And then even one of Farzana's colleagues from medical school came in about that point, and he was one of the doctors that said to Afsaneh's mother, oh dear one, this is in the hands of Allah now. Please, you don't need to do these strange things. This is in Allah's hands. And this amazing mother, and I shared this on Thursday's call, but it's so worth sharing. She said to him, no, you don't understand. Sit down and learn this, because you have never learned this.
She had sat there teaching him how to do the marmas, and he kept saying to my sister, he said in English to my sister, it's so sad to see your mom doing this, because this is all useless.
Yeah.
This is
And then
mumbo jumbo.
this is mumbo jumbo, useless. Then the mom had the doctor sit down and listen through the stethoscope to the heartbeat before, where there was hardly any pulse, and then play the voice. And Farzana's message was so amazing. She's like, I wish I would have recorded his face. He was so shocked. So
He was shocked. And he said, this is just a coincidence. This
yeah.
is his body, the last hours of her body, your heart rate goes up suddenly, and suddenly things change, and you feel as if they're coming out and they're going to be okay. This is not going to happen. He was full of negativity. And
Now I want to share some context too. At the same time, we held actually a meeting where anyone in the Ancient Secrets community could join. And I actually see a lot of people who were on that call where I shared a specific mantra process that we did. And just raise your hand. I just want you to raise your hand if you were on that call. I see many people that were on that call. Yeah, beautiful. Heather, Joseph, Susan, Karen, Larry, Carol, Randy. Deb Rand. So many people I've seen that are on this call right now showed up in that moment. And just through this, just knowing that we're not there in Iran, we love you. We want to do something. And Ancient Secrets gave us something that we could do, pressing certain marma points and speaking certain mantra in a certain way. And this community gathered, and then also Krishna gathered a group of the past students doing another special set of marmas, and then the orphan kids, our orphan kids in Nepal, every morning would be gathering. And I just want to see if I can share with you a couple of these images, because they every morning possible were just gathering. Oh, just one second. I just want you to just look at these faces, and all around the world, so many people loving you, Afsaneh. And even people who didn't know you were praying. Just one second. I'm going to show. Oh yeah, here we go. So beautiful. So you can see these faces of these little guys. Just with such a purity of intent and such an intensity. They didn't get stirred or bored. Just pouring all this love, And then as it would happen, is there more you want to share about that context of that? Or should we share about when your heart stopped now?
sorry.
Yeah, no, it's
So
totally.
grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So the 14 doctors, because my sister herself is a doctor, she knows many doctors, and some of the best doctors in Iran, they were invited to come to hospital for second opinion, for third opinion, for 10th opinion, and all of them said that I wouldn't make it. And then I stopped breathing, and the machines started to beep, and my sister said that one doctor ran in, and my mom was crying, and she was doing the marmas, and she was praying. She didn't know what she was doing. My sister was doing the same. And she said, the first doctor came and he said, she's left now, you have to leave the room. Then the second doctor came, and then the third doctor came, and they announced my time of death. And they were disconnecting the machines, and my mother literally yelled at them, get out. They told them to leave. They told my mom and my sister to just say goodbye and leave. And my mom said, no, you leave. You're not going anywhere. She's not gone. And as they were pulling the plugs out, my mom said, leave them. Don't touch them. We are paying for that. We've already paid for this room. We paid for her treatment. Leave. And my sister was trying to hold my mom as she was crying. And my sister said to my mom, She said, I told her it's okay. She's gone now. Let's go. We have to leave the room. And my mom said, no, she's not gone. I know she's going to come back. And one thing I forgot to say, and that was after I came back, my sister said from the beginning, she kept looking for a reason. Where is in the book, it says every challenge, every difficulty has within it seeds of equal or greater opportunity. She said, I kept looking for it. And my mom then made my sister connect the machines that they disconnected. And
I just want everyone to imagine that moment, even just drop into it for a second. Is anyone that you love, you know, and you've been waiting to see them for years, and they finally come home, and it's supposed to be a celebration, and instead you're in the hospital and you try everything, every kind of opinion, and then all of a sudden this hope, this flash of hope, because as you're pressing these marmas and as you're playing this voice, it seems like her pulse is getting stronger, and you get excited about it. And then that wave of hope crashes when the heartbeat stops and the beeping stops, and 3 doctors come and declare dead, actually sign the death certificate, and say that it's time for you to leave the room. We're unhooking and taking the body away. And can you imagine being her mom and that moment saying, no, you leave? And in tears, starting to press the points again and playing the mantras. And I want to read this, if it's okay with you, Afsaneh. This was what your sister said. It says, after the doctors pronounced her dead, they asked basically me and my mom to leave, and in tears to say goodbyes. And then my mom said, no, you go out. And then this most amazing thing happened. A great miracle happened before our eyes. My mom started doing the marma again. And whilst crying and praying as I played Dr. Krishna's prayer and Dr. Roger's voice, a few minutes later, suddenly I heard one beep. I cannot describe that moment. It was really unbelievable. Hard to describe that moment. Then another beep, and another one, then back to normal. 2 of the doctors kept saying, this is unbelievable. Then after 10 minutes while they were doing the marma, she opened her eyes as I was squeezing her head.
it was actually 48 minutes, Dr. Clint.
Yeah, 48.
Minute,
48 minutes total. 10 minutes of doing the marma.
my sister was rubbing ajwain, ginger, and asafoetida to my feet and my hands, because in the book, that is what Dr. Naram had done about his father.
Yeah.
When the doctor said he's dead, and the doctor was writing his death certificate, that is what he did.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you this, Dr. Clint, but when my mother said, no, you get out, we've paid for this room, connect the machines. And all this took time, you know, it was like she's shaking, she's crying, my sister is crying, and the doctors are shaking their heads. My sister was saying, they kept saying, you know, like, what a stupid people these are, they're still hoping. And
she made them rehook up the machines, keep the machines hooked.
My sister was hooking the ones that they didn't, because she told them to get out. And then you're going to laugh at this, because my mom said, my sister said something to her, she couldn't remember. And my mom said, I am Baba Ramdas. I am Baba Ramdas. I make her good. I make her good. And she wasn't accepting it. She wasn't having it. And my mom knows the book by heart, honestly. She's read this ancient secrets in Farsi so many times. She shared the marmas and everything with her friends, and you know, she goes to Quran classes, the holy Quran classes, and she knows many people.
So this amazing mother, tell me her first name. Can I know her name?
Ashraf.
Ashra?
Yes.
Ashra. This amazing mother who right at the end of the book about Dr. Ram and his own father be declared dead, and he didn't give up, you know? Now, for most of us, that seems so ridiculous. And honestly, there's so many cases where it is the soul's time to go. But this mother knew, Dr. Naram knew. And sometimes there's an inkling there. And so in this particular case, to press all the points, and then how long had you been in a coma, Afsaneh, by this point?
I think 8 days or 9 days.
So eight or 9 days, declared dead,
Yeah.
48 minutes without a heartbeat, and then to hear the beep because her mom made them hook up the machine. And then the second one, and then as pressing the points, after 8 days of her being unconscious and no sign of life, all of a sudden her eyes opened and some tears came. And then the first words, let's see this is what Farzana said. Her first words that she said were,
Has Dr. Clint gone?
you want to say it?
Yes, I remember because I opened and I don't know why, but I was crying. And I just said, oh, did Dr. Clint go? Did Krishna go? Have they gone? And I remember it's a tradition. I kissed my mom's hand and I kept looking for my white lily, which I cried for days because there was no white lily there.
Now her sister, who didn't know anything, who knew the name Dr. Ram, but didn't know the name Pankaj, says that she keeps crying and saying this Pankaj, or a person in white named Pankaj, gave her this white lily and she won't rest. And so she asked me, she's like, do you have any idea who this Pankaj may be? We don't know. And then when I told her, no, this is Dr. Ram's first name. And I sent the picture of Dr. Ram in white holding this flower. She's like, we had no idea. And can you describe, Afsaneh, can you tell about that moment, whatever you remember? When your heart wasn't beating?
I just know that I didn't see any human. You don't see, but I didn't see human. It's like an awareness. It's like a knowing that this force, there is no human body, there is no face, there is no head, there is no body. You just know that you're aware that Dr. Pankaj Naram is there, or that there are other souls there, but there is no form. Do you understand? And the only thing I remember is my hand was held and I was given a beautiful white lily. And it sounded, although there was no sound, but to my ear, it sounded like Dr. Pankaj Naram, when he spoke. And he just said, take. But I had this knowing, this awareness, this no word, but awareness, that it said, take this, as if to say, take ancient secrets everywhere. Take it. Take it. And it was just very loving and it's very unusual love. It's not like the love that we love. It's a million, trillion times more love in the other realm. It's beautiful. And for a couple of days, I thought I'd been imagining this. But given that I kept crying for many days looking for this white lily, it was so very real.
I even actually offered your sister to send them money somehow so they could buy one for you. And she's like, no, we already tried that. She doesn't want that.
They bought it and it wasn't.
Yeah.
What I was given was a water lily.
Yeah. This is the amazing mother. Honestly, this hero. So beautiful. And then so much gratitude to Krishna, Smita, Dr. Ram's family, Dr. Giovanni, who supported so much, all the PATH students that also were so consistently meeting and sending love. And then I don't know if you can hear this, but we love you, yeah. So much love. Can you share a little bit more, Afsaneh, about whatever you remember about coming out of the coma? And I know you had a really weak lungs and could barely speak at the time. And
yes,
can you describe
as
physically?
I opened my eye, as soon as I got bad pneumonia, I still am suffering from my lungs. I've just been using my inhalers before the call. But all I wanted to do was call Dr. Clint. And he was the first one that I called, and he was the only one that I called when I could speak properly. And I was very frail, you know. I went back to hospital and I was hospitalized. They changed my hospital a few times, and because of what happened. I'm not going into detail with why this happened, why I went to coma, but I should have.
I want to share this other piece real quick. So it was touch and go, but the fact that she was dead and now alive, the Farzana said the same doctors that were making fun of us nonstop, now they won't stop contacting us, asking for, what did you do? And she says, I haven't been back to that same hospital, but I've heard many reports that now they have onion and milk on the side of all the beds.
You know, when I opened my eyes, my sister had shouted, "Doctor, come, see, come," you know, like in a panic. Because even she said we didn't know what was happening. In a way, she said deep down they thought I had died. But she thought I had died.
Yeah, it reminded me so much of when you helped your auntie, when they thought she was going to die.
Yes.
And when you just gave her the 2 remedies from the book, the mung soup and the immunity tea.
Immunity tea.
Then all the doctors started recommending to other family members. It was contagious
Immunity
healing.
tea and mung soup.
Yeah. So in Iran, Afsaneh's soul, instead of having that meeting in which 72 people were there, now who knows how many hundreds of people have heard, and who knows how many other people have maybe come out of coma or helped to have more strength or more immunity. Like, it's amazing how the divine works. When I was thinking about this and the mystery of it all, you know, and the boldness of Afsaneh to go there with this mission, with this message, just wanting this message to be shared that healing is possible. You know, that people may not know it's an option, but they should know it's a choice. They may not choose it. And in that, her soul having this journey that's so much more persuasive than any speech. You know,
The first doctor that came in, after it opened my eyes, he kept saying, "It's impossible.
It's hard to hear you. Can you? I want to make sure we don't. Oh, there we go. Say that again. The first doctor who came in and what?
My sister said his mouth was getting all mumbled. He kept saying, this is not possible. This is not true. This is not possible. It can't be." He was going crazy, the doctor, because it's as if he'd seen a ghost, she said. And my mom said, I told you. She kept saying, "You don't know anything. You don't know anything." And then the other doctor came in and my sister laughed. She says, "Honestly, I wish I could have videoed it at that point. If you had only seen how they reacted, it was funny and sad because still they couldn't believe that what we were doing is the answer."
You know, I can laugh. I can laugh so easily because I was that person. You know, as a skeptic, when I saw Rabat come out of the coma, I didn't know what to say. It didn't match anything in my reality. There's nothing in my life or training or teaching that could have prepared me to see that unfolding, you know? And so I totally relate to those doctors, actually. I feel like, you know, skeptics are very welcome in this space because we come from what we know. And the problem in my, the challenge that I had was when I saw things like this happen, I tried to find ways to discount them because it challenged so much my reality. I tried to find some excuse, something that could be some possible reasoning. But even placebo, which was my go-to excuse, didn't work for someone in a coma. How does placebo work? You know, do they believe they're going to get better? But in this case, this fierce faith of this mother, you know, and sister, and then a whole community, like knit together in love, and the mission that Afsaneh was on, you know, her want was accomplished in an amazing way. I think about when we were all in Ashland together, and Dr. Joseph's want, and how sometimes things unfold in such an unexpected way, and then the more amazing miracle appears that we would have never predicted. Afsaneh, it took a while to recover. It was even touch and go, and so we were still praying for you. And honestly, I I was in awe that you had recovered. And then when I didn't hear from your sister for days at a time, I got really nervous. And I was just eagerly waiting for any messages. We have a group also that was meeting every morning and like having meditation and doing the Marma. Cornelia and many other people were part of it. Can you describe that process of the healing? Because I know that was a journey, and there's a lot of depression that was there when your lungs weren't recovering and you didn't have your flower. No.
Yeah, they actually bought me lilies, and I was very upset because it wasn't my lily. And then they showed me pictures and pictures of Lily. But one thing that was really amazing was the doctor that was my sister's friend, the one that at the beginning he said to my mom, to my sister in English, "I don't know why, mom, you're getting your mom to do this. It is all useless." She came to visit me in a different hospital, which was a smaller place. And again, my lungs were giving up. And I was about to die again. And I remember I had said to my sister, salt and oil, rub salt and oil to my chest. And they bought Himalayan salt, and they put olive oil, olive oil, I think. And she rubbed them slowly. She rubbed them so much that I had sore skin. But my mom didn't stop the marmas until the day that I left Iran. She still continued all the marmas, all of them, on my hand, on here, and I actually came out of coma as my sister was, well, not coma, but when I had died, she was still continuing with my head, this marma. And my mom was doing my feet, and at the same time with, she would do that, and she would rub my hands with ajwain and ginger and my feet, and then they were like running. They didn't know what they were doing, to be honest. And when I went to the other hospital, I was actually very, very, very sick. But I was saying earlier to Cornelia and Carol and Jaina that I think all the forces work together. From the day that I attended Dr. Clint's first Zoom call, from that day, all the forces worked just to heal me. And you cannot take herbs to Iran. They won't let you take it inside. I took a big suitcase full of herbs that I bought in Europe, and I took them just to give it as gifts to people, as I see them. Not giving them clothes and jewelry or perfume, but I wanted them to have the herbs. And when I arrived in Iran, I just bribed some guy. I gave him a bit of money, well, not a bit, a large amount of money, and he let me walk out with that suitcase. Because I thought if they stop me, they can have the herbs. That's okay. It's meant for them. And one more thing. At that time when I couldn't eat, even when my lungs were compromised, Dr. Clint had sent the recipe, the herbal home remedies called Sita paste. And Sita paste is, can I share that?
Yeah. This is really powerful. So,
but
maybe what we can do, we can put the Sita paste, we can put this recipe in even one of the newsletters or in the emergency course.
Yes.
I think it's really powerful. Even recently this week, my girlfriend had really big cramps from actually a panchakarma treatment, at Basti. But Sita paste is magic. So much she was actually fainting. And the Sita paste, when you apply it, it helps reduce so much of the vata and the pain. And it's such a good thing to know how to make. You want to share that out, Nina?
Yes. When I was in coma, Dr. Clint had asked my sister to feel my stomach and feel my hands and my feet, but my stomach. And he asked, is it hot? Is it hard? What is it like? And it was like, she said, your stomach was like stone. It was that hard. And Dr. Clint had immediately said, we need to get the digestion working. And
Yeah, Dr. Naram,
then,
he would say it this way. He would say if someone is in a coma, you feel their feet, their stomach, and their head.
yes,
Lots of
is it
times the
hot?
head is hot, the feet are cold, and the stomach is hard. And so you need
Yes,
to get
that's
the head
exactly
cold,
what I
the
had.
feet hot, and the stomach soft. And there's ancient secrets for that, how to do that. Now, in Afsaneh's case, almost everything was cold, actually. She was past the point of even her head being hot. Her stomach was very hard. And in
My
that kind of,
body was very, very cold
yeah.
throughout being in coma, very cold. They couldn't heat it up until Dr. Clint sent the cedar paste. But you see, I had kind of used cedar paste on my auntie.
Oh, it's hard to hear when you're on the side. Can you come, because we want to hear all the words. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, when my auntie was dying, this is another amazing story. She couldn't eat anything because of the COVID the treatment that they gave her. All her mouth was full of sores. She had big sores, like in her tongue, in the roof of her mouth. She couldn't swallow anything, not even water. And at that time, Dr. Giovanni had told me to use whatever that was available in Iran at that time, like ajwain, like ginger, like ghee, to put them in the navel, because your navel is your second mouth. So if you cannot eat anything through your mouth. And because I taught this already to my family, to my sister, my auntie's son, and everybody, so they already knew. But at that point, when I was in coma, they didn't remember. So when Dr. Clint, my angel, said to my sister, use these, whatever you have, and she said, we have amutadi, we have
She had all the herbs, so she
everything.
could crush them and put them in
We
the
had
paste.
Jivan Rakshak, we had Astalok, we had Divishwar Jivan, we had many, many herbs that I'd taken. He said, just put everything, crush them and put it on her navel. And they were doing it 4 or 5 times a day. They were crushing and putting and rubbing it to my navel.
Now,
And then
Afsaneh,
again,
I want to see. I know there's a lot of people on this call who love you. And is it okay if some people have some questions or they have some reflections or what love taught them through witnessing your story, this very powerful story? Is it okay if some people can share and then you can respond?
Of course. And also, the second time that I went back to hospital, actually I went back to hospital many times, but the last time that I was in hospital, my lungs gave up, was again, I couldn't eat or drink. Again, my mother was still doing the marma for coma. She was still, and they were putting the herbs for lungs, like Astalok, like delicious Jivan, and like even leaf tone, radio leaf, everything into my navel, and rubbing the salt to my chest, and doing the lung marma, which I had learned from Dr. Giovanni I love Dr. Giovanni, when my auntie was literally dying. She was 88 with COVID, heart problem, lung problem, brain is gotten smaller. She has many, many, many problems, yet she survived 3 COVIDs. 3 COVIDs. 3
It's
times.
truly, it's so remarkable. So if anyone has a question, I'd say go ahead and put it in the chat, or you can raise your hand. I just want to make the case for the having an Ancient Secrets emergency kit in your house, and then also this Ancient Secrets for Emergencies course, that just started this week. If you haven't joined already, it's not too late. You can watch the recording, but it's just getting access to all that material. And we actually made it where you can join for free if you want, or a donation of your choice. And 100% beyond whatever expenses there are goes to benefit these orphan kids. But it's powerful because as you learn it and as your family and friends learn it, you never know who's going to help who. And definitely call 911. Get medical help. All the medical disclaimers. But what if the phone service doesn't work? What if the roads are broken up? What if the hospitals are full? What if no ambulances come? And you're not lucky enough to have a doctor in your house? Then why not learn these things as well? And so as part of the first challenge activity for this month, Carol, is it Tuesday that you're leading the special call on how to can you tell me, I just want to make sure I get it right. Is it this Tuesday?
Yes, it's this Tuesday, and we're going to jump into, pull up our sleeves and work on the emergency ancient secrets version of an emergency kit. And we're also going to go into detail about a grab and go bag and a couple other nice surprises on Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah, Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific. Actually building it together and learning exactly if grab and go bag. You know, some people in our community, their house was destroyed by fire, by hurricanes. We don't know. And so you want to be ready that you can grab certain things and some stuff you would probably never think of. And Carol has done such amazing research on it. Okay, I want to have some questions. First of all, Joan, who's guiding the whole thing, started on this powerful quote. Do you want to speak and ask any questions that you have or observations you have?
Well, I wrote them in the chat, but I'll say them out loud. My first observation was that I think that white lily wasn't something to be found. It was Dr. Naram placing that white lily in your heart, and now it's always going to be with you because of the experience. And the second thing is you quoted Dr. or not Dr. but Wayne Dyer. You said the book, I Can See Clearly Now. Is there something that you can see clearly now because of your coma incident? And is there something that came to you that was that would be helpful to share with everybody?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, as I said, I can see clearly now is the reasons why I was so attracted to Ancient Secrets. After reading the book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer, I had this urge to translate it. But now I see why I needed to do this. You know, sometimes we do things, we do it with our heart, but we don't know why we're doing it. Like when Dr. Clint told us about the 100-day training. Yes, 100-day training was 4 years ago. I jumped at it. And then he said, we have a 3-year path course. I don't know if Dr. Clint remembers this, but I was the first students to pay for it. Yes? Dr. Clint?
Yes.
And I just dived into it with my love, with my heart, as if it was my mission, as if it was, I'm a lecturer myself. And I remember having done diet and nutrition, and I was teaching diet and nutrition. Now every day I say, God, please forgive me for teaching the students all the rubbish that I taught them, because there was nothing about mung soup, nothing about inflammation, nothing about don't eat wheat because of gluten, don't eat this, that, the other. And so that is what I can see clearly now. Why was it that I was so passionate? Whenever I went to my class, I learned something. These are our notes.
You got the whole note, so amazing. Such
But
a good
anyway,
student. Dr. Ram, he says there's knowing, there's doing, and there's being.
being.
And she was doing, and it became part of her being, even by translating. The words went
And
through her, and the whole miracle of how the book actually got published that I've shared many times. I don't need to share again, but how remarkable. All the translations and all that work. Oh, is this your journal?
these are my home remedies. These are all the home remedies that I have learned, and I know there are a million more. And I can't wait for Dr. Clint's second book, which I'm hoping it will come out, because I'm ready to translate that also. It's not about translating a book. It's about what you learn as you do it. And I remember saying to Dr. Clint, your book is like an onion. The more that I read, every time I read, I learn something else, something new. And funny enough, all of that just came together to heal me, to save me. And I am so grateful for being here, because now I know this is definitely my mission in life. Now I know I want to take Ancient Secrets everywhere, because you can help people.
Yeah.
with simple home remedies. Look at them. Look at them in Iran,
No,
such a
I went.
progress country. Yet the doctors are all saying, no, 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 this is rubbish. This is witchcraft. This won't work. And hey, look at me. I mean, had my mom not have told them to get out, had my mom not have said to them, don't touch the machines. We've already paid for this room for today, you know, because in Iran you pay for the room in advance for like 100 days or whatever. If she hadn't done that, then nothing would work. Then my lungs literally gave in. You know, I had severe pneumonia. I still have remnants of it. But my sister wouldn't let me have antibiotics. Many doctors said, if she doesn't take antibiotics, she will definitely die this time. And I said, no, I don't want it either. I'm just going to take my herbs and I'm going to have an open heart. Like, you have to have your heart open. You have to allow for it to happen. When you allow, you're going to heal, and your body is capable of healing itself. When you're open to the universe, when you love the universe, you love the ancient secrets, and you're grateful. And I'm very grateful for my doctor. Very.
I'm so grateful for you. I'm so humbled as well. You know, something I've never told you, Afsaneh, but oh, two things. And then Romarishi, I definitely want to hear what you have to say on Renee. And I know we're getting close to time, but before you went to Iran, it sounds funny, but even I was doubting myself and doubting my path, and just sometimes life happens like that, you know? And yeah, I'd actually, my mom had one of her high school friends whose husband was in a really challenging situation, and I went and I felt so much like we could help him, and I don't want to tell the whole story, but we tried to get the herbs and they weren't sent on time, and so many things happened, and then he passed. And I remember it hit me hard actually, and it was one of those moments that I was like kind of questioning a lot of stuff, and the way in which like divine plays out to have like Dr. Naram and the whole unfolding. And then when Dr. Naram was alive, there was something that was also not quite settled in me. The person who was closest to him was Marian G. And for those who know Marian G, she actually was born in Iran. Her father was Russian, her mother was Iranian. And there was some times where as I was learning and as I was growing and as I was doing things, sometimes other students of Dr. Naram would get jealous, and even she would put doubts into people. How come Dr. Naram taught Dr. Clint how to do frozen shoulder marma and not you? And honestly would speak so negatively about me, and I had to like face like, why is this happening? You know, and I would take it personally, and I would try and like defend myself at the beginning. And Dr. Naram says, you know, the two greatest obstacles to seeing ourselves and others clearly is fear and ego. And there was one meeting in particular in which, in front of the accountants, in front of so many people, she spoke so negatively about me, things that definitely were not true. And in this particular case, I didn't take offense. I just listened and I took notes. And I didn't take it personally. And afterwards, she came to me. She's like, what actually happened? And I told her, she's like, oh man, I got the wrong information. And then things shifted. And Dr. Ram came to me and said, congratulations. You know, life has taught you you had the most powerful teacher in this way. And as this whole thing has been unfolding in Iran, I can't help but think also of Marian G on the other side. You know, it's just like rooting for this healing power to be on the planet. And how, you know, we never guessed that we're going to be the ambassadors of things in particular. I definitely never thought this was my path. I'm saying that you probably didn't think this is your path. Many people on this call. And there's so many powerful healing things on the planet. This is not the only thing that can help people become whole, but it is one of the things that can. And because you've been attracted here, there's a reason. I know everyone on this call, like this is a part of the puzzle that helps you and your heart and your body and your mind and your soul to feel whole, vibrant health, unlimited energy, and peace of mind. And so that's why I'm doing this. And that's why I recommitted even through this whole journey. You saying it's like, okay, there's no accident that we're on this path. You know, we're just hand in hand so many things we don't know, but something we do know is that when we show up in love, love can guide us. And we start with what we have, and we start with what we know. And that's why I think Carol and Cornelia, so much love behind the emergency course. Now, I know it's the hour mark, and usually we try and end at this point in time. If you can stay on, I want you to make sure you hear Romarishi and Anrene and some others. If you can't, I'd want to make sure that we have some moment, all of us, to reflect love to Afsaneh. Now, who's the host on this call? I want to see who's the host right now. Cornelia, can you spotlight Afsaneh? And then Cornelia, after about like 1 minute, can you mute everyone again? And then so I just want everyone to unmute yourself if you can. And then after the call, Afsaneh, we'll have more people share. Anyone that wants to stay on the call, but I just want us to rub our hands together. We did this when you weren't present, but it's so much funner to do it when you're here with us. We just want to say we love you and we're with you.
I love you and I'm
I love you.
I'm
We're
with
with
you,
you.
Afsaneh.
I'm with you.
Congratulations.
I'm with you, Lord.
It's incredible.
You like
Seeing you.
and I'm with you.
With you.
Love you and I'm with
Mm.
you.
So much for all you shared.
I love you.
The inspiration.
Love you and I'm with you.
And continued healing.
I'm with you. Of this
And we love you
community.
and we are with you.
Afsaneh, can you unmute yourself? I just oh, there we go. I think I can do it. There we go.
I just want to say something. I'm not the hero here. Yeah, I'm not the hero. My hero is Dr. Clint. He is the hero because you have no idea how much love this guy has. Seriously. I mean, if you only knew how many messages he's messaged my sister, the video that he did showing the marmots. He even did a video, audio. He recorded how to say I love you and I'm with you in Farsi, in my language. Then he created groups of doctors, Afsaneh support, what was it called? Afsaneh support something.
Yeah, Afsaneh support team or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, on my mobile, there are about 4,000 messages. I haven't had time to even read them all. So I'm very grateful. But I want you to know something. I want to recommend something. Okay, if I may. Please, please, please read the book. Please try it and see for yourself. Huh? See for yourself. But you know, when Dr. Clint talks about love, sometimes I used to think, love, 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 love. It's all about love, 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 love. What love? You know, everybody's killing themselves. But now I understand what is love. Having crossed over, if I may say so, and having come back and having seen my mom's love, Dr. Clint's love, you know, it's not a fake love that he has. It's a serious one. And I'm like everybody. I'm like all of you. And who knows, maybe my mission was to go back and come back and just to say this, and then maybe I die tomorrow or tonight. I don't know. But there is no death. It's just crossing over to a different place, to a different realm where it's full of awareness. There is no duality. I think there is no, and you don't see man, woman, long hair, pretty face, ugly face, whatever. It's just not there. This is only form that we have, and maybe this is why I've so much more energy than before to promoting this book. Even my sister said, can you ask them what is the herbs and what are the home remedies for brain tumor? Because she does a lot of surgeries on the brain, you know, removing tumors and everything. And I think she's now totally converted into Ancient Secrets, totally. But I'm so grateful that my family is so open to learning new things. When my sister, when my mom said to my sister, I am Baba Ramdas. I know what I'm doing. I am Baba Ramdas. Like this. You know, that should, please go to the depths of what she said. Bless her, bless her.
Can I share one thing too, Afsaneh, and then Romarishi, we want to hear, and then on Renee, and we'll have some other people share too. Then we have the alarms going off here. Actually, Romarishi, can you share your comment first, and then I'll share what I want to say.
Sure. My heart is so full of love. Everything that has been conveyed in this call has been pure love. And it has given us all such a clear understanding of the power of love. Love is something that we talk about all the time, but this story is the best story that I've ever heard. And I want to share it with everyone I know. I want to send the video of this to every single person that I know and that I care about. I'm not going to go on and say much more, but this call has been fantastic, and we rejoice in your story and how you believed in the power of the ancient secrets and how you brought that to your entire family, and now it's spreading all over the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So beautiful. The best story he's ever heard. He knows a lot of stories, so that is something coming from Romarishi, who's a master of stories. Cordelia, can you again put the link for the story from Thursday, and also at the link, if you haven't registered for the emergency course, there's really no reason why not to. And there's so much valuable content. So at that same link, you can also register if you haven't already. I want to go to the thing of hero, and then Anne Renee. You know, when Rabat, when she came back, it was amazing because Dr. Naram wasn't there actually, but Giovanni was there. The ancient secrets were there, and I love that the book began with that story because it's like the ancient secrets, they live, you know, and actually the force of love, it lives. And in Iran, there wasn't a Vidya there, but even just from getting a video and having the book and having the love, so many beautiful things happen. And when Rabat came out of coma, Dr. Abba made it very clear to us, you know, who's the hero in this particular case. And he says, this is her mother, actually is the one. And in this particular case, I again want to share the picture of this amazing hero who, I don't know how I can ever, I hope I get to meet her one day. I says I want to just celebrate who she is on this planet and how many lives will be inspired because she has chosen to do what she's done. So thank you, Afsaneh, for just sharing your mother and this very, very powerful story with us. And Renee, please. And then Deborah Ann, I saw also you had something you wanted to share.
Every time I hear this story about, I'm reminded of in the Bible when Jesus heals the blind man, and somebody asks him, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? And Jesus said, I tell you truly, neither his parents nor this man, but this man was born blind to prove the law. And so I feel this is her mission, you know, this is her mission, really, that she proved the teachings, she proved the law, and she broke it open for all of us. So thank you.
So amazing. You know, I love on these calls, it's so multicultural, multi-faith. I just saw in the chat, Mike Smith says, you know, it was just Yom Kippur, Day of Atonement. There's also Dushra. And these very powerful festivals is when this story is coming out. It has this healing property. And I don't know, I'm excited that Afsaneh, you sharing, you living this has so much possibility to shift. Even when I shared this story with Charles Eisenstein, he said, you know, so many people are coming from doomsday thoughts. As the world, as these natural disasters, as things are happening, as the economy, so many reasons to get depressed. And he's like, but if you're coming from doomsday, you don't have all the data. You know, he's like, I want everyone to know this story because it gives you more data about also all the forces that are with us. How Dr. Naram appeared in that moment. Even the play of technology, how cool that however AI becomes intelligent, now because we recorded this story, AI is going to have this story. Whatever powerful things, whatever unexpected guests come on the planet, we can utilize these principles. Jerem and Nell, I see you there, and I don't want to, I'm not intending to like put you on the spot, but Nell, I've been thinking about you ever since I was in your home and we did the post clinic there. And honestly, I was secretly hoping that you would be on this call. And then when I saw you on the call, it made me so happy. And I just want to hear anything that love taught you on today's call. And then Deborah Ann will go, and then Shifra will hear from you, and anyone else that wants to share as well.
Well, I'm really blown away, and I heard the story from the beginning as it was happening and tracked everything. And I think the biggest takeaway for me is just the expansion of love in my own being and grounding me in my own being and being able to radiate that out to everyone and just wanting to share that experience within themselves that I'm experiencing through this call today.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I'm watching other people's faces as you share now, and lots of affirmation of your powerful words.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. And Jerem, anything for you?
Well, it's just a continuation of this roller coaster ride of love that we have in this community, and I'm just so grateful. Feeling Afsaneh, your love, and for us, and sending to you just feels beautiful. I can't say more than that. Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. When we did the clinic in Portland area, I loved it that at my desk, already on the table was cloves. That Nell remembered that from Ashland, and that was exactly what I needed. And then I had a little bit of cough, and Jerem was the one that took care of me. He gave me D-Viro, he gave me the cough syrup, and he's like, "Hey, you take care of so many people, I'm gonna take care of you." They give me like really healthy bars and made mung soup that I was able to get through security and have it in the airport. It's amazing. I was like, that's too much. I want to go back there again and again and again. I want to call on one other person and then go to you, Deborah. And thank you for your patience. I see that Che is here, and I don't know if you were here also before even the book was published, I think. And Che, anything? I don't know if you could come on camera. I don't know if you're able to unmute yourself, but I just want to hear what love taught you today, if you can share.
Did you call me, Clint?
Yeah, you. Yeah.
Oh, how you been, man? I find myself joining the calls late on Sunday because I stick to a strict meditation every day. Today I went for about an hour. And I've been joining the calls lately just to hear everybody, see everybody. I haven't shared in such a long time because there's just so much to share. It's like I told Miss Carol and Jana. Why do I come on these calls, and how come every time I come on these calls, it seems the theme happens to be the past week or 2 weeks or a month that's been building up, and every time I get on the call, you guys happen to be talking about that thing. And how does that relate to Dr. Naram and for everybody? Well, again, we start programming marmas on this finger, and Carol has shown me a lot more marmas that are really helpful, and I wouldn't have noticed how they impact me if I hadn't gone through this meditation. I do, the main one I do is something called the Shambhavi Mahamudra, and that was initiated to me by a man named Sadhguru. Now, I have this connection with this man because the more I do Shambhavi and the more I spend meditating, there are effects I never even knew was going on, and then things start to change, and now in sleep, that's where I can do most of my practice. What does that mean? Well, I programmed, I'm not scared to share it anymore. When I programmed this finger, it was more childlike, but I said, I really just want the truth, and I want the truth of this universe. I didn't know what that would do. So before I was initiated into Shambhavi Mahamudra, Sadhguru led an online process live. And when he led that process live, I was engaged, but I had no idea what was going to happen. So like there's Carol over there where she is, like there's Jane over there, like there's you, Dr. Clinton, like there's me. We think it's right here or it's over there and we're communicating over the phone. Sadhguru, what he did was he said, I want you to put a focus right in between your eyebrows and I want you to push that out. There's more details I just don't want to tell people because they asked me not to, but but about 20 minutes of applying this pressure, he says, I want you to push it out and keep your eyes closed. I had no idea what he was talking about. But I just followed it. And before I knew it, this man separated me live, just like I'm talking to you. But when a man does that to you, you distinctly know, and it's intense. You distinctly know this is a body and he pulled you out here. And there's so much resistance. But when a being like that has you, you're out here. And that's the best way I can explain it. So Dr. Naram's Marma led me to the past 3 years of all this discovery. And now that I'm doing Shambhavi on my own, the effects are repeatable. It's to the fact where I'm slowing down my yogic practice just because it's so in my face. And I just want to let people know that if you program something and it's really, this is really my truth. When you program something, it's really there. It takes you for that. When it came to music and dancing, that was easy. When it came to martial arts, it's still ongoing, but programming martial arts has this profound effect and it takes effect. But as the spiritual aspect of it, I've been reluctant to share because you need time to spend with it and you don't want to spit out anything that's unreal. But it took 3 years to have this much courage. So I don't mean to share too long, but that's really what I'm on right now.
Well, what you just shared is actually so related to this call in more ways than you know. You know, lots of times Dr. Ram, he made it clear, even one of the last days of his life, Jack Canfield was about to go to an astrologer and he was going to ask, when will I die? And Dr. Ram says, no, don't ask that. There is no such thing as death. Just ask, when are you going to leave your body? That's a more accurate question. And so you know, we think about the two greatest obstacles to seeing ourselves and others clearly. Your powerful intention, Shay, was to know the truth. And the two obstacles to seeing truth clearly, to seeing ourselves or others clearly, according to the ancient secrets, is fear and ego. And one of the greatest fears is death, actually. Another fear is the fear of rejection. Another fear is the fear of the loss of a loved one. And on this call, we've faced so many of those and the emotion of the stories. And then through the other side, and also ego, all those kind of things. And Che, as you're sharing so beautifully, you know, the way in which Source is moving through you and your path, I just celebrated. It's so beautiful. My phone is getting really close to losing battery, and I want to make sure Deborah Ann shares and Shifra, and then I want to go into breakout rooms because I think everyone, it's powerful if you have a chance to share what love taught you on the call. And so, Cornelia, if you could get it set up, the breakout rooms. But Deborah Ann, if you're still on the call, I'm very eager to hear what love taught you or any kind of.
Well, you know, I took my hand down because what I wanted to share, you expanded on with story, which is beautiful because that's what you teach. We teach through story, right? But all I wanted to say was really the hero here is Ancient Secrets. That's the hero. And each person is celebrated because they said yes. They said yes to the Ancient Secrets and then performed them. And Afsaneh, you said yes to coming back because I know in my meditations and praying for you that you had a choice and you chose to come back, and thank you for coming back.
Oh, thank you so much, Deborah. It's so beautiful. And there's so much wisdom in that. You know, even on the Ancient Secret of the Master Healer, the Love and Healing chat this last week, there was questions about lineage and this kind of thing. And Dr. Al made it very, very clear to me. This isn't like there's a guru and everyone else is below. It's not like that at all. He says it's more like a school of thought or philosophy where every student can become a master and every master is always a student. There's not a hierarchy of there's some people who are above and some people are below. That doesn't exist in Ancient Secrets. And if you think it does, then actually you're not a part of the lineage, because lineage is the principles work. And it's not about who's right, it's about what works, and that it works for everyone. The light switch works for everyone. It works for, anyone of any religion and anyone of any status and anyone of any socioeconomic status. So I really like that you said that, Deborah Ann, is that I like to say it this way: I don't put anyone on a pedestal, but put love on the pedestal. And then through love, we're guided to things that work. So beautifully said. All right, Shifra, please.
Hi, everybody. I'm just so grateful. Afsaneh, it's just so beautiful that you're here. I reached out to you quite a while back, and you were so loving and so giving, and I'm just so glad. You're such an example. It's just so beautiful, and how people who had so much skepticism changed their minds. And I celebrate you, and I see you making that's what I see, you making a full recovery. And it was just Yom Kippur, and I struggle with letting love in a lot, and I struggle with because when I see injustice, it makes me really angry, and that I saw how I said something at the community, and for some people it was fine, but some people pointed out to me that I was that there was something off-putting about the way that I was speaking. And she said it to me in a really loving way. And I think my challenge has been that I've been in so much emotional pain, I haven't known what to do with it. And often alienate people when that's not really what I want to do. And I think I've done that somewhat here. And I don't know why, because people have given me so much help. I don't know why I'm not healthier than I am right now. And I'm having trouble eating, just literally I'm too full to eat. So I guess I'm glad I could hear her loving, and then she let me share, and then she wanted to share back. So I don't know what to say exactly, except that I want to believe that I can heal, that I will be able to eat and heal from however difficult it has been. I don't understand myself sometimes. How many people I can see how I've alienated people and why, and not with so much hatred of myself. And I just really resonate with this piece about love. And then after my friend shared that, I was able to come back and be in that community in a different way. And that people who I thought I just could relate to them differently. And that's what I'm looking towards. So, and I'm also looking to further this healing, and, what I do now to be able to eat well and just spread love. And, tomorrow is the memorial for my friend who took his life. And I want to be present for that with a beloved friend who she was in love with him. And I want to be present for her and for him, and be able to show up in a beautiful way and carry on the message. He was a full of love person.
Jeffrey, can I just say, offer one reflection?
I can't hear you. Wait a minute. Wait 1 second. I can't. Give me 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Give me one second. Problem. I have to.
All right, Chipper, I just want to give one reflection real quick. Is perfect that you're sharing on this call, because when you first came to Ancient Secrets, I remember you were thinking you didn't want to live. And Afsaneh, your story today is a powerful story of honestly, all of us are raise your hand if you're going through some major challenge or evolution or transition in your life. I just want to see, it's like almost all of us, not all of us, but almost all of us have some major shift. And the major shifts in our lives is like something dies and something is reborn. And your story at this time is so refreshing, because as the world and whatever structures we see and whatever is coming in these future years, we don't know what structures are going to change. We don't know what's going to shift on this planet. But we can remember your story. We can remember that sometimes things pass so that there can be a rebirth, And through your story, I've saying it, Shifra, through your example and through so many of the cases that we see in Ancient Secrets, we can anchor in what was in that very first chapter, what Dr. Ram told, Rabat's mother, never give up hope, you know, and also that you're here for a reason, and that this can be the most exciting time to be alive, and that we don't have to come from fear, and that we don't have to know everything. We don't have to know everything, but we can love, and we can take what we've learned, and we can let love guide us to learn the other things that we need to. And so, Afsaneh, any final words? And also, Joan, any final words before we go in the breakout room? Anything, Afsaneh, that love taught you on today's call? I'll see if I can unmute you. Oh, there we go.
Well, I must say it was lovely to see Che here after many years.
Yeah.
Che, if you're there, welcome back. Welcome back. I just want to say I'm very, very grateful. I'm grateful for your teachings. I'm grateful for the Zoom calls. I'm grateful for learning every day. I'm 65, by the way, people. And
65 years young.
Yes, I'm 65 years young, and I intend to live whatever that I have promoting the ancient secrets, because to be honest with you, when I was in hospital, this is my last sentence that I'm going to say. In hospital, before I went to coma, the only thing that they injected me with was fear, fear, fear. The doctor shaking the head, going, oh, that doesn't look good. Oh, no, this, oh, no. And as soon as you go to a doctor, you're thinking, is it cancer? Is it this? Is it that? Is it, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to be really ill. I'm going to be depending on other people. But now I know what death looks like. It's beautiful. I don't mind dying every day and coming back, to be honest. It's very refreshing. But please don't listen to negativity from your GPs, from your practitioners, from your specialists. Because as far as I've learned in my 65 years young life, is that doctors are textbook doctors. They are so closed. They really don't understand the meaning of the word healing. The only thing they want to do, my apologies, dear doctors, but even my sister calls herself a drug pusher, because she says they are given a list of drugs to give to their patients by the governments. And I since then found that even in UK it's the same.
If I could add one thing to what you're sharing too, Afsaneh, thank you so much for your heart. I definitely know that, man, I think every doctor that I've ever met has gone into it with love. And through Dr. Naram and Ancient Secrets, I saw that definitely we're not anti-doctors. We're actually not anti-anything.
No, not at all.
We're pro love and pro health and pro learning and growing. And I've seen so many doctors that are like wanting to learn, how does this work? And I know you weren't saying this stuff, saying it. I hear your heart. I just want to make sure that everyone knows that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like this is a place that basically, like, we're welcome to come as we are, even with whatever skepticisms, and share our experience. And through your story, Afsaneh, we're going to have a much more powerful clarity on how to live each day. I wish I could go in all the breakout rooms. I'd love to hear Ron. I'd love to hear Dr. Joseph, Dr. Susan, Randy. I'd love to hear Larry, so Siobhan, Anya, Belle, Esther. I'd love to hear all of what love taught you today. I think that maybe so much good has happened, but maybe one of the most impactful things is about to happen for everyone in the breakout room. Joan, you have something you wanted to share before we go in the breakout room? All right, I guess that's a breakout room invitation. All right, so go ahead.
Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
All I wanted to say was that we're all here on this earth. We're a bunch of little kids learning. We're all teachers. We're all students. Like these doctors, they've been taught a certain thing. They think that that's right, but we've also been taught a certain thing, which we think is right. And proof is in the pudding. Afsaneh's mom showed them that she did indeed knew what she was doing. And Afsaneh's story, it just shows that it was a perfect storm. Everything came together in order to prove that all of this works. So don't do any harm. That's the main point. Everybody try to help each other, lift each other up. Don't pull each other down. And that's the message from me.
Yeah, oh, so beautiful. The other message for me on the call with Chase sharing, Afsaneh sharing about Dr. Ram is how interconnected we are. It looks like we're separate, but we're so connected. And so on this last one, I want you to rub your hands together and then just place them on your heart. And as you go into the breakout room, I invite you to drop into your heart space away from ego or fear and just see what love wants to share, what love taught you, and what love wants to speak through you. So, Cornelia, if you can open up the breakout rooms, and then hopefully we'll see everyone on the Tuesday call for the next Ancient Secrets Emergency course. Afsaneh, we love you.
I love you. Dr. Clint,
I
there
love
is
you. I'm with
somebody
you.
called Sadra
Loved you.
Aka. Here, he's written a message in Farsi to me. And he says he's from Iran and he's a doctor, but he can't speak English well. And he wants me to tell him how to match with doctor, how to get in touch with you. But I've
Okay,
looked at the list. I cannot see his name anymore. It said Sadra. Sadra, S-A-D-R-A, in bracket Aka.
Okay, let's see if you're on the call, dear doctor, if you could put your email address. Maybe Afsaneh, can you speak in Farsi? That if he wants to be in contact with me, just send his email
خانم
to team.
صدرا یا آقای صدرا، افسانه هستم. اگر روی کل هستین، اگر توی زوم هستین، من شما تلفنم رو گذاشتم براتون روی چت. لطفا با من تماس بگیرین تا راهنمایی کنم. مرسی.
Yeah,
And
you
I've
can
also
you can
given my
email team
telephone
at
number.
myancientsecrets.com. All right, beautiful. We're gonna go in the breakout room, and Afsaneh, we love you. We're so happy you're back. More than
I'm
ever.
very grateful. Thank you.
Go ahead, Cornelia. You can open up the breakout room. I don't see the breakout rooms open. Is it?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Guess I got everybody. There's 4 people, I guess. Let's see. There's Raven and the Ancient Secrets note taker, who is a mystery, and Jimbo.
Ancient Secrets.
Well, since the only one I can see there now is Raven. Raven, what did you learn about love today?
What I learned today is that I want to return to the ancient secrets because I've just drifted away. And today's call was very convincing that, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So you were a part of Ancient Secrets a while back, and now you took a little, what do you want to call it? Just a vacation and doing whatever else you're doing, and now you're back. I'm so happy you're back. What brought you back?
I've been here half-heartedly all along, but just sort of lost my faith that this was relevant for me. So here I am back.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I hear how today really made a huge impact on you. That's not a story. Yeah. I mean, how remarkable of a story. Just awesome.
How about you?
Well, I thought it was amazing. I've heard her story now Thursday, and I've heard it today, and it's exactly what you say. It just reconfirms, and so often, as much as we can reconfirm just the miracles in life, as much as we can reconfirm our potential for healing, as much as we can reconfirm that when you open your heart and you love, that love heals, because love truly heals. And my favorite part of the story is the love of the mother, the love of the family, the love of this community. But especially the love of the mother really moved me, because nothing was going to stop that woman from her intent. Her child was going to live. She had that so envisioned in her mind, and her heart was open, and she was going to do whatever it took, and she had faith in the ancient secrets, because many times, not to diss on Western medicine, because it certainly has its place, and so do hospitals, and all those doctors do the best they absolutely can, and it's what they've been taught, it's what they know. But to have faith in the unseen, to have faith in love, to have faith in the unseen, and to have faith in the healing potential of the body, to have faith in our souls that are connected with everything, to have faith in that, to have faith in what we can't see, hear, touch, or feel in a moment, but to have faith in that, and to have knowingness. And that mom with her heart open did that, right? And the power of just the what do you want, the marmas, the home remedies, all of that was so exemplified in her sharing. So that's what I have to share. I thought it was absolutely just off the charts magnificent. Yeah. Hey, Jimbo. Hey, Christine.
Hi, Christine says she has to go. So
I have
let's,
to
yeah.
leave, but I wanted to say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Hey. Do you have real quick, you just share in a sentence what you learned about love today?
I'm just so happy. I can't tell you. I remember when I found out that Afsaneh was doing well. She was one of my very first friends through Ancient Secrets.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was like, oh my goodness. But just love to all, and
just love to you.
Who is Ancient Secrets note taker? Is that Bridget or no?
I was wondering the same thing. I have no idea.
Note taker's been quiet. Perhaps it will be revealed at a later time. Anyway,
Okay,
Christine,
well,
bless you. Thank you.
Love to
Have
all.
a wonderful day.
Take care.
you.
Hi and
Yeah,
bye.
sure.
You too all.
So Jimbo.
Hi, Ariana and Raven. Me and Raven we see each other a lot. So.
Oh, wow. You guys live close to each other.
Well, yeah, no, not in person. I mean, yes, we do. We live about an hour and a half apart, but we haven't met in person. But we have been connected. We just sort of came together on WhatsApp through the community, and we've been in contact. And lately we've been doing some stuff together with Hope and Gary. In
Nice.
Yeah.
In North Carolina, I heard they were in North Carolina when all this the hurricane.
Gary was, yeah. Well, that story is incredible. After 52 years living in Marin County, he up and moved there 2 days before the hurricane hit, and then he had to leave, and now he's planning to go back in a year. So imagine his world just topsy-turvy all over the place. But that's that's what he dove into last year when he was going all around. Yeah. But the way it's transpiring is mind-boggling. So he's up with Hope now in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
And they're getting ready for their workshop, which is on November 9th, which is
sweet.
Which is what I did last year, and it was amazing. And and Raven has joined, so she's going to be there. So
beautiful.
It's amazing, yeah. And so, but for me today, I excuse me, I have gotten away from being on the calls every week for a while. Just we go in cycles, and I'd sort of fallen away from it. And I'm going through such huge shifts. It's like this most amazingly powerful time in my life for massive shifts and huge expansion, but it's taking interesting turns, and it's a lot of it's very challenging. I have these incredibly expansive and transformative experiences as I as I expand, but also there's so much that's being that I have to go through to get there, and you know, it's the expansion and contraction and all of that. So it's extremely intense and it's amazing. But today I knew that I had to be on the call today, and so I just, you know, I didn't even think about it. I got up. I knew yesterday I was going to wake up and get on the call today, and I'm so glad I did, of course. And this story of, you know, Afsaneh's story is just one of the all-time classics in the ancient secrets, you know, world. And it's she said something, you know, right there at the end that really underscores. She said, you know, as soon as you go to the hospital, all they do is feed you fear, and that's the way that world works. And it's so it's kind of mind-boggling that it is that way, and it's such a powerfully, you know, it influences people's lives and experiences so dramatically if they stay in that it's, you know, it seems very sad and tragic all at once, but also it's just, you know, part of the deal. But then the opportunity is to just put love in the mix, and like you were saying, Ariana, you know, that the whole unseen world that those people are all programmed out of, and that we are connected to, and that we're spreading, and that's the huge shift. And you know, this story, even if it's one doctor at a time, this is being spread. And you know, I saw some people saying, oh, you know, this needs to be made into a film and seen around the world, and that's a great idea. But what occurs to me is that this really is something that there may be a tipping point where something like that happens on a mass scale and is accepted, but it's really a grassroots thing, and it's spreading bit by bit and more and more. And when I look at the, you know, when I am meditating and I look at the world, and I see myself as the beacon of love and light. And then every time I envision that, and there I am, I often see myself as a bonfire in the desert. It's not like a lighthouse. And then every time I do that, and it's growing more and more, then I see the bonfire in the desert, but then there's more and more bonfires popping up out in the distance, more and more getting closer and closer and tighter together, and the whole world is covered in bonfires and lighthouses. And I really have the total awareness that this is happening really fast right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it is peaked out, definitely. I mean, just the times ever since, I think, the Mayan calendar, you know, there a lot of us thought that in 2012 that was like doomsday or something, but in the real Mayan calendar, the 2012 was simply a turning point where we're moving in a place in the universe where these ethereal energies are more intense than they've ever been.
Right.
And so our growth is literally more intense than it ever been. And that beginning of that intensity started around 2012. And I remember 2012 in my own life. It was very intense. I could feel all these energies. And so it becomes that turning point, and the turning point kind of choice, right? Like, well, what are we going to choose? Yeah, you can choose whatever you want, but what are we going to choose? Are we going to choose, you know, ego and fear, or are we going to choose love? Are we going to choose fear, or are we going to choose absolute complete healing? Are we going to choose not believing and knowing in the unseen, or are we going to believe just being so in 3D and so locked in emotions and so locked in that heaviness of that frequency? Or are we creating a new world by choosing the higher frequencies of love and joy?
And we are.
Yeah.
And
that's what I love about this community.
Yeah, and I'm it's so clear to me. I have absolutely no doubt, and I have the inner knowing, and I'm connected to that. This is happening, and we are going. you know, it'll be a rocky road, but we're going through, and everything, all that conditioning and all that density is being broken apart, and we are going to come out of it. But and as Clint said, and you were just talking about doomsday, you know, people get conditioned, and it's part of the human, you know, it's part of the way we're put together. We're susceptible to that. And then our opportunity, of course, is that we get to, if we choose to, we get to work through that and
Right.
share that. And so, and that's the choice. And that's life on earth in a human body. So
Exactly. Yeah.
but yeah, and so and you know, like Clint said too, he said you know, if you believe that it's all doom and gloom, then you don't have access to all the information.
Correct. Well, and that's so simply, for me, I understand that because I look at, just like for me, the ego mind, and when we're born, our programming starts. We've got this awesome computer, right? Awesome computer, organic computer, and it's there to help us survive in 3D. It's there to mitigate between soul and the energetic that we came from, and now it's kind of mediating, and it's mediating in such a way that its purpose is to help us survive. And so what it does is, like any computer, you know, you get all these little programs running, and those programs are based off our experiences. We may have had traumas, we may have had all sorts of emotional experiences, and they're all in there, right? And our brain adapted, had survival strategies that worked or didn't work. And so the ones that worked when we were 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever, they get cemented in here. So those programs become cemented, and we don't even know they're running anymore. All we know at some point in our life is, my life's not working. Why? Well, you got a lot of old stuff in here. And when you think about it, and the programming of the neurons and the neural nets, you know, it's like, you think about that. It's like, to me, I look at it, and my analogy is like all the paved roads, all the paved freeways, say, in the United States, all those paved freeways, and you keep repaving them and repaving them, and then we have the choice: are we going to keep repaving those neural net connections, or are we going to disrupt them, tear up the pavement, let the Mother Earth, come back and let those dissolve, and then you repave new thought, you know, new thought in my new program, you know? And it's like, I mean, for me, that I've watched myself through my life, you know, just unconsciously respond to this autopilot thing, you know, and so it's like continual, and it's a lot of work.
It is.
It's a lot of work, but I feel like now is the time to do that work, and to, you know, one foot at a time, you know, one step ahead, one more, have faith in this, and one more, be persistent with our growth, you know. And sometimes we step back 2 steps, and then we take that step forward, you know, and it kind of, but we're taking those steps forward, you know, which is
or 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And then
did I say 2 step backwards and 1 step forward? I messed that one up. No, that is not what I meant. I'm glad.
I know that's not what you meant. I've seen one.
Maybe I sometimes do that. I don't know.
Right, exactly. We do it on occasion, but the overall result is we're going up. Yes.
That you're going forward. Well, thank you for that, Kat. I've noticed as I've gotten older, I'll just be a little dyslexic, and I'll turn things totally around. I'm so grateful to people such as yourself, because that was not my intent.
Yeah, and you know that everything you're saying about the you know, all the stuff that runs our programs that we got when we were kids, and so much, like we did the best we could at the time with whatever came into our lives, and we had coping mechanisms, and they served us then, but they don't serve us now.
They don't serve us,
and some of those things, for me, most of my life, I was just stuck in that, and it really affected me in profound ways. And it's only fairly recently that I've been working through it and having all the awareness around it, and, you know, abandonment issues and all that stuff. And it's so heavy. It's so freaking heavy, especially when you're, you know, I mean, every human is profoundly affected by those things. But when you're really highly sensitive, I think maybe it's even more intense.
Yeah, it is. I think so too. I think so too.
And that's why, you know, that's the density that I'm feeling as I go in this expansive, you know, this expansion phase, is that all that stuff is pulling me back. Really, it's holding on. And they, you know, they say that that part of me is trying to keep me safe, right?
Yep, that's what it is.
But, and I understand that as a concept, but the idea that that's safe, you know, keeping me in those programs is actually the most dangerous thing there is. The opposite of safe. And so
totally.
it's so freaking bizarre to be looking at this and how my programming is still working on me because it's so entrenched and it really a lot of hard work to override that. And
totally.
And you know, I know that fundamentally it's all very simple. If I focus on love and let love guide me in everything, then the process is in place and I will move forward. But we also have the problem of patience where we want this to be over sooner rather than later, this process.
Yeah.
So
boy, I so hear you.
being patient.
Well, you know, the ego mind in those programs, they really are strong because they really are bent on your survival, and they're limited minded because the ego is only
limited.
It's only based on our experience, right? And when you look on our individual experience in 3D, it's nothing compared to the knowledge and the amazing possibilities and everything that exists in what our ego looks at as the unknown. Like, right? That's all the unknown. That's scarier than heck. That's like stepping on a ski slope that you've never been on before, and it's one step more difficult than the last one you did, and you're up at the top, shaking in your boots, going, I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe I'll go back to the, you know, the lodge and have a hot chocolate, you know, or something, you know. But that's what it is, right? It's scary to go into the unknown, and that's why, like Clint mentioned, you know, death is the biggest fear. Well, yeah, because it's the biggest unknown. I mean, we think we have whatever beliefs we have that, you know, will guide us. And I mean, no matter who it is, no matter what religion, we have our beliefs, right? But we still, you don't know until you actually experience it. And I'm sure we've, in my reality, I feel I've probably experienced it many, many times.
Oh,
but it also, in my experience, I believe that I forgot, you know, I forgot all that stuff. So here we are in this little box of reality that our ego has kept us safe. It's like, oh, stay here. You'll be nice and safe. Don't go out in the world in the unknown. Don't trust. Don't have faith. No. That's too scary, right? And then when we do it and we step out into that, man, it's a whole new world. It's exhilarating. It's like, and then you hear stories like Afsaneh, right?
Yeah. I have a new mantra, which I say to myself multiple times a day often, and it's because I have so much resistance trying to keep me from expanding, and it can take the form of just you know, I mean, connection is the big part of it. I need to get out and connect with more people, and when I do, there's a lot of resistance that tells me not to do it, or that, you know, well, you don't feel, you know, I'll sometimes go to do something like that, and then I'll have a shift in my body that makes me feel uncomfortable, and it's like, oh, I can't do that now. I don't feel well enough, right? But now that I have this much more expanded awareness, now my mantra is, whenever something like that happens, I just say to myself, it will raise your vibration. Just do it.
I like that.
Yeah, because that's the goal. I'm really clear on that. We need to, you know, there's a lot of teachings about this. We need to figure out what will raise our vibration, whatever it is, and do it, and just keep doing it. Because when we raise our vibration, then we create the shift that allows the old programming to leave.
You know, it's making me remember. It's really powerful to say yes to things, because sometimes we'll say no, and like you said, you know, oh, I'm tired tonight, nah, you know, and I catch myself doing a lot of that, and it's like I really am working on now. Say yes, Matter of fact, I think I'll watch that tonight. I don't watch a whole lot of movies and stuff, but there was this great movie and Jim Carrey was in it, and it was called Yes. It's just called
Oh, I haven't
Yes.
seen that one.
That is
I'll look it up.
fabulous. It's
And
just called
he's
Yes. It is
amazing.
hysterical. It's lighthearted. It's kind of comedic, but it is a great watch. I recommend everyone.
Yeah, just say yes. That's it. It will raise your vibration. Just say yes.
Say yes.
And for so long I've been saying no. I've been letting that make the decision for me, all that density.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to share something with you because I think you guys were both there when I shared about my experience with trees.
Yeah.
On the call.
I think so. Yes, I remember it vaguely, but I'd love you to refresh my memory.
So it was about how one day a couple of years ago I was driving along and I looked over. There's this gorgeous oak tree in the neighboring town, and I'm driving through, and I've noticed it before, but I looked over that day, and I was already in a high vibrational state. I was already in an elevated state, so the connection was easy to make. And I looked over at that tree, and I felt such love for it, and I was saying, "Oh God, I love you, tree." And then I'm driving along, and the tree's in the back there, but all of a sudden, just moments later, as I'm going down the road, and there's trees, it's not a thick forest, but it's scattered trees, mostly oaks. And all of a sudden, all the trees were sending me powerful waves of love. And I was crying. It was the most unbelievable thing. And the fact that they were all connected and communicating and it was all coming to me. And so that was so profound. And then I had subsequent experiences when I would talk to or even go put my hands on a tree. And when I did that, I would feel this powerful breaking of a barrier to make the connection, right? And I would feel it would be, and then boom, oh, we're together. But what's really interesting, what's happening now, and with all the, my connection to everything and the world, and a lot of the meditation I do is about, connecting, becoming one with the universe. And so now, whenever I do that, and any of this stuff, I don't have that physical sensation of the connection being made. And the awareness is that connection is now in place all the time. And I'm never, I don't go out of it and back into it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because holding that is awesome, because I think that's when you're really connected with your soul and source,
Yeah.
And holding that all the time, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And it's amazing. And it's, it just becomes who you are. So it's kind of subtle in a way. And it was the fact that I wasn't feeling that particular sensation of connection when I go and talk to the tree. That means, and then I realized it's because I'm already connected. I don't have to make a connection anymore.
Love that. Well, and it also seems that you must be being pretty present in order for that to be happening, and you must be having an open heart for that to be happening.
Oh, absolutely.
I know that's something I'm working on really as much as I can, to be present, because so often I have been such a high vata person in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I've been up here so much.
Mm-hmm.
So especially now in this age period, right? So
right.
So it's a constant for me. It's constant, and I don't want to call it work, but I guess it's a constantly learning.
It's a
to
process.
be more aware and to be more present. Yeah, I'm in process. Yeah, but that's awesome. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing that you've got going there. That's awesome.
Yeah, and the whole nature thing, and it's not, it's. I have an amazing, even before the thing with the trees, I've been having these incredible connections with the insect world for years.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
And I have an amazing story about flies, but right now I'm having wonderful thing. They've been here for a couple of years, but I have frogs all around, inside and outside my house. Cute little frogs.
Oh,
And
that's so sweet.
they go in they often are in my bathtub when I go to take a shower. They go wherever there's water. So they'll be over by the kitchen sink, and I'll find them in my dish rack on my dishes. And I love them so much. Oh my God, every time I see one, it just oh my God. And now they're all around, and they're all around the house, and I have a little herb garden in front where there's water. So anywhere there's water, there's these frogs, and they croak all the time. And so that's, that just any way that you can connect with any of it, I mean, any and all of it. But this just sharing connection with any creature is so profound. And
it is so profound. It is so profound. I used to be afraid of wasps, and I've really come with most of them. I still haven't quite gotten there with the oh God, what do you call them? The bald-faced hornets, but they weren't here this year.
Oh yeah, they're a little more scary.
They are a tough one, those ones. And jackets are sometimes nice, sometimes not. But there are many that are just really wonderful, and when I've opened up and really connected with them, and when I am aware enough to know their language and to know where they live and what they're doing, and have respect for their home that they built, instead of thinking that, my garden and everything is, and I've tried to
off limits to you.
With them.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. If we say, well, you guys are great, but don't come into my space, right? And they know immediately. They're so connected, and they're so telepathic that
they're all connected, right? I mean, I find that, especially by species, but they're connected with everything. But a lot of times by species, they're really interconnected. It's kind of like the Borg collective in a way, but not really the Borg. But they have that.
This frog is croaking right outside my window on cue here. Well, it's funny you said wasp, because I have this right in front of my house. I have an herb garden in pots and a very small, tiny lawn just in front of my house. So that's the only place that really gets watered all the time. And I have a bird bath out there that I fill up every couple of times a day. And so what has happened is everybody comes, to be around the water, and butterflies, but wasps, hundreds and hundreds of wasps come from all over. They sit in my bird bath all day, but they're also all over the lawn and all over everything. And I'm so used to them. They're my friends. So I'll look down before I walk on the lawn so I don't step on them. But other than that, they are completely welcome. And it's amazing. But I also realized I had a new UPS driver, and he was leaving my packages out in the driveway in the sun. And I thought it was because I have a big dog door, and maybe he thought there was a giant dog here, even though I don't have a dog anymore. And I talked to him one day. He came, and I was here, and he was leaving the package out there. And I said, "Hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah." And he said, "Oh, it's good. But, and I said, well, I asked him what was the deal with the packages. And he said it was because there was wasps in front of my house. And he was afraid of, he didn't want to get stung, so he wouldn't come to my front door.
Yeah.
And so that was trippy. And also I have friends come over and hang out on the lawn. If they're wasp averse, then it could be a problem, but I just love it. I'm immersed with all these creatures.
It's wonderful,
and when you embrace them, they know, because you can feel the incredibly profound consciousness in these tiny animals.
It's true.
That, our science says is minimal. Well, no, it's vast.
It is vast.
And they're connected. Really, they're so connected. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Well, Raven, we've kind of
Yeah,
Jim
I
and
was
I have
just going to
been
say, let's let
taking over
Raven
here.
talk.
So, do you have anything you'd like to share?
No, I've just been enjoying listening to your conversation.
It's been really nice. Well, I don't know if the note taker is ever going to reveal who they are.
Yeah, it might just be some sort of placeholder there or something.
It might be a placeholder, I
I
guess.
don't know if
I've
somebody's
never
there or
experienced
not.
that. Yeah.
Are you there?
Hello.
Identify yourself.
Oh, man. Well, it's been a pleasure, and I think I'm going to mosey on down the road here because I have things I haven't done. Usually with these calls, I like to wake up in the morning and meditate, and I do a little exercise routine, and then I'm with the dog. I got stuff to do outside. So I haven't done any of that yet, so I'd like to move forward into that. So very wonderful,
good to see you.
Raven. Jimbo, so happy to hear about all your transformational things that are going on in your life, and yeah, happy movement forward, and so glad to see you back. I hadn't seen your face
Yeah,
for
it's been a while.
while, yeah. So very, very good to have you back in the community. Yeah, you're looking great.
Thank you.
Your face looks different than it did before. There's a it's like there's just a lifting of weight that's gone. There's your soul shining even just brightly and more through you. Yeah. I really notice it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And Raven, nice to see you. Okay, to have a wonderful day.
Yeah, you too.
You too.
Love you, and I'm with you.
I love you. You too.
Bye, guys.
See y'all. No taker, huh? Wonder why that's there.